First, look at the Medomatic, which contains the patient's basic information. Pay special attention to their complaints and their symptoms. Use that information to fill out the first 4 sections of the SOAP checklist. SOAP stands for Subjective, Objective, Assessment, Plan. It records what you found out about that patient. Dr. Snyder, the Chief of Staff, will use it to assess your performance after you're done. You'll find some useful tips on what to do in the exam room, which will be your first stop in the hospital. Here you'll find the Continuing Medical Education Database. We call it CME for short, which will tell you something about the type of case you're dealing with. In the exam room, you perform a procedure by clicking on an instrument to grab it. You'll get a close-up view of that body part. Look at the Medomatic for a description of what you see. Click on the info stand and consult the instrument chart if you're not sure what each one does. When you move the mouse to either edge of the screen, the cursor will turn into an arrow. Click to get out of the close-up view. When you're finished in a room, click on the arrow again or use the drop-down menu to navigate to another room. Next, we move to the lab. You won't need to take samples and run tests on every patient, but the lab is where you go when you do. Just click and grab an instrument. Then drag it over to the patient. Then fill out on the Medomatic which tests you want to run. The Medomatic will also display the results. In the imaging room, you'll shoot the patients full of radiation, all in the name of making them better. Click on the appropriate button on the control panel to select the kind of image you want to take. Then drag the cursor over to the part of the body you want to see and release. You'll get a look at the image that you took, and the Medomatic will tell you what you see. Navigate out of this view just like you navigated out of the close-up in the exam room. Finally, you'll move into the treatment room. This is where you'll take all the information you've gathered from the exam, the lab tests, and/or the x-rays to determine how to treat the patient. A little tip: it's a good idea to check the CME for hints on how to proceed. Treat the patient by grabbing and dragging instruments just like you did in the exam room. When you're finished, navigate out of the room. Then you want to complete the SOAP checklist by filling out the assessment and plan sections. If you want to do a little light reading, you can go to the library. You'll find a dictionary of medical terms here, as well as all the CMEs and a lot of useful information about medicine and healthcare in general. This is the lounge. You can come here if you need a break. Be careful of the vending machine food, though. I wouldn't eat that stuff if you ran it through a sterilizer first. And don't let Dr. Snyder catch you hanging around here playing video games. When you're done, Dr. Snyder will review your work if you like. Don't take it too hard. He's under a lot of pressure. Well, that should get you started. But before you go, I'll let you in on something. Make a big splash here, and Dr. Snyder could make you his successor as Chief of Staff. You'll have to prove you know what you're doing. That means answering questions correctly, conducting a thorough examination of the right body parts, requesting only the necessary lab tests and images, and then recommending the proper treatment. But if you screw up, I wouldn't count on all the confusion around here to hide it. Okay, good luck. You're going to need it.